And okay, so thanks for coming. I wanted to show these two apps in particular because we do a lot of working with different software that is meant for the students, but we don't really talk as much about productivity applications, so things to help us in our day-to-day. And I wanted to kind of explore a few different applications that we have access to in Office 365 that we don't really talk about. And so when I saw To Do and I saw Planner and started using them, I've gotten a lot out of them. So I really wanted to make sure that I share them with other people to make sure that they could too. So I have a video on To Do and how to use it and what it is that you can check out on the YouTube channel. Maybe a bit later, I'll post the link in this chat so that people have access to it. But I didn't really go into Planner, so I wanted to talk a little bit about that too and how they kind of integrate with each other and work back and forth. So I'll start with To Do, and you guys can interrupt at any time if you have any questions or you want me to stop or re-say anything. Don't hesitate. I won't be checking the chat because I'll be sharing my screen. So feel free to just unmute yourselves and interrupt if you can. I'm pretty sure that you have access to that. If not, then send me a chat message and I'll let you know that. Okay, so let me share my screen and I'll show you what To Do looks like. Do Microsoft To Do. Watch it not work for me. Everything's going smoothly today, and then I go to use it, and it's not going to work. Okay, so here's my computer screen, and here's Microsoft To Do. I'm being very candid here. I'm posting like my personal To Do account, and that's okay. There's really nothing that's too secretive here. But this is Microsoft To Do. It's a productivity app, meaning it's a to-do list, and it's a virtual to-do list. Like I mentioned in the video, there's also an Android app available for your phones. I'm 90% sure it's available on Apple devices too, but you can go ahead and let me know and correct me if I'm wrong. And it's a to-do list. So I really am the type of person that uses post-it notes for everything. I write little post-it notes everywhere, and I've used apps at the same time to post little things that I want to remember around the day. The one that I mentioned in the video and I still use is called Google Keep, and it's a great app for writing things down and for keeping notes and stuff like that. But because we have access to Office 365, I wanted to try this one out and see if it worked out well. And like I think I mentioned in the video, I almost prefer it. It does some things very well. I like to try and be a bit critical. It does some things not as well as other programs. And I'll try and bring those up if I remember. But I want to kind of let's explore how to actually use it. So when you want to download, this is a standalone app. It does exist in Office 365 as well. So if you went in your browser and you looked at all apps by this little button down here, you'll see that it is an app and you can access it online. But I personally don't like using the app versions, like the online versions of the applications. I always like downloading an actual copy if I can. And so I did that. And I was happy to find that this is an app because it's not true of everything. For example, there's no desktop version of Planner. So the way that you go about downloading that is you open up your Microsoft Store on your computer. So you would, if it's a Windows computer, you would go to your Windows button and search for your Microsoft Store. That up, and you would then search for Microsoft To Do, and you can download it from there. And what's nice, I mentioned in the video, is that if you're using your school computer, this is not a program that needs a technician to put in an admin key. You can literally download it and open it right away, which is fantastic because most programs you need to put a ticket in and then have Meta come in. This one opens automatically. You can use it right away, which is great. So once you download it and you open it, this is what you're kind of presented with. It would be blank for you, but I have a whole bunch of things on my list that I need to get done. And I was using it just today, actually. Most of these things are questions in my Q&A that came up that I couldn't really answer or that I needed to catch up on. So the basic functionality is that this is a to-do list, and you are at the bottom, you have a place to add your task. So no matter what I need to do, whether it's finish the dishes, I can type that in, and if it's really quick, I can hit enter, and that shows up on my list right away. Um, and then if I wanted to check it off because it's done, I just press check and it's completed. And you can see that the list of things that you've completed for the day show up at the bottom here. So you have access to what you've already done so that it doesn't just disappear. But that's the most basic version of this. There's a lot more to the app, and that's where I find it really shines well. So if I wanted to clean the house as my thing that I need to get done, you can see that it pops up with a menu on the side here with different features that you can then take that you have access to. So the first one is lists. So this is going into tasks. A list, you can see on the side here, is just a specific place where you want to put specific types of to-do items. So I might, for example, have a list of things to do for each one of my classes. If I have a lot of assignments I need to grade, I might have a to-do item in 703, for example, and all of the 703 tasks I want to do, I put in that list. And the more that I add, the more I can just put directly into the list that I need. This, for example, clean the house is going to be a weekend task, so I might want to put it in my weekend task. And then once I click enter and I create the task, it'll show up in this list on the left here. If it's something that I really want to plan in the future, it's not something I want to do today, but I want to make sure I get done. I can see that there's a little calendar on the side here, and I'll pick a date, and I can assign it to a specific day. And on that day, when it comes, if the day comes and goes, not only will it be a suggestion, so it'll show up on your suggestions that you want to add to your day, but it will notify you that you have a task due today. So, hey, don't forget, do that thing you needed to do. So the reminders is a really neat thing, and you can have that accessed on your phone as well. So if you're the type of person that really likes phone notifications to keep track of things, you can use it there. And you can even set a specific time. So whether you hit the calendar or you hit the little clock, you can pick a time and date here, and it'll give you a specific time that you can get a notification saying, hey, this is due now, so don't forget, which I need because I will forget, even if I schedule it. And I'm the same with my Post-it notes too. I'll just have a bunch and then never get to any of them. Anyway, yeah, so that in and of itself is great. So let's say I put this in weekend tasks and I want to be reminded tomorrow at 4 p.m. I would hit save, and then I would just hit enter, and then that adds to my day. And you can see that underneath the task, it shows you where it is, which list. And on the left, automatically, I can filter by the things I want to do on the weekend. So I have all my little woodworking stuff that I want to get done on the weekend. I have to put up a light, I have to clean the house, and I have to finish a table that I want to create. So that's nice that you can filter that way. Let's say that this clean the house in my day here is important, and I really want to take advantage of making sure that I do it. I can star it and mark it as important. And when I mark it as important, it can then go into my important tasks that I really need to get done immediately. Okay, so I can filter by important tasks as well, and I can filter by the tasks that I've planned. So if I've set a time, like a due date, I can go into those tasks and check out the ones that I've had planned and get to those one by one. So that's really nice. Like you can filter by different lists, which is fantastic. The other thing I can do though is I can click on a specific task and then add sub-tasks to it. Because, you know, it's never enough to just have clean the house. You know, we need to know what we need to clean, or if we're teaching, right, we might need to correct assignments as a thing that we want to do that day, but which assignments do I want to correct and when do I want to get to them? So if you click on the item that you want to add to, a whole other menu pops up with a lot of different features here. You can add a step. So I want to clean the bedroom. I want to clean the basement, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then I have subtasks that I now can get to one by one, which is really nice. The The other options down here are, let's say, for example, you create a task and you forget to assign it to a specific day. You can do so underneath here. All those options are still there. And you can assign it to a specific person. So this functionality is really nice because this is part of our WQSB account, we have every time you go into a WQSB or Microsoft app, it syncs across the WQSB. In other words, if I wanted to assign this to a specific person, I can create an invitation and that will send to another person in the organization. So this can be really great if you're working on a group project and you want to give a task to someone to do because you're delegating, you can do it through this little assignment feature. And then they would get an email or they would get a notification telling them that they have a task that they need to do. You can also add little specific notes. So often if I'm planning to record a new video for our YouTube channel, I might say record video on Microsoft To Do. And then as I'm thinking through the task that I want to get done, I might write myself a little like, oh, make sure to mention this into the little notes feature here. And last but not least, if there's a file that I want to add, I can add that too. So like it's not just a basic to-do app. There's a lot to this, which is really, really cool. And one of my favorite features, because we get so many emails, is the ability to link Outlook with the to-do app. So if I have an email coming in, I'm going to use Doty's perfectly, that I want to get back to because there's something that's actionable and I really need to do it. So maybe it's a parent email and I'm not able to get to it right away. I'm going to flag it as being important. Okay. And just by clicking the flag button, it might take a few minutes to sync, but it's going to sync into my to-do list because these are both connected to my WQSB account. So Outlook is in my name and so is to-do. So if I go into my flagged email, I'm hoping it will update soon. It'll show up here as something that I need to do. There we go. Flagged today. Boom, there's Doty's email, and it gives you the subject line of the email so that you know what you're doing. And then I can assign it to a list if I need to and get back to it. And once it's done or once I've checked in, I can click my complete button and it's completed. So that's the basic overview. There's more to it than that. Obviously, you can explore, you can change the background theme, which is really cool. The phone app works really well. You can print a list of things that you need to do if you really like paper, and you can pin it to the start menu. So the things you need to do today, you can pin it to right here, and then you'll have access to your program really quickly. So Microsoft really did a really good job at building this. Um, One thing I didn't mention about the My Day, this is a specific list. And what's neat about this is that this comes blank every day. So tomorrow, even though I have all these tasks here, this is going to be blank. My Saturday, December 12th list for my day is going to be blank again, but it will show up with suggestions. So this little, what's it called, light bulb here has suggestions on some apps. So if, for example, by the end of the day, I don't get to everything here, tomorrow under my suggestions, I might have different app or different tasks that I need to still get done. I can add them to my day by pressing the plus button, and then they'll be added and I can get to them later. All right, so that's to do. Now I'll maybe stop for like a couple minutes. Does anyone have any questions on to do before I get into planner? I'll open up the our meeting. Okay. In that case, I'm just going to run right into it. Okay, so Planner. Planner's a different thing, and it's designed specifically for group projects. So the way that I see this being used by people is you can, for example, as a teaching team or as a PLC or as a, if you're doing a PDIG one year, you could use Planner in order to delegate different tasks to each other. So this Planner app integrates into Teams. There's a Planner app in Teams that you can see. I'll show you what it looks like in Teams. If you go to Apps, you can actually choose Planner. Let's see if it's here. if it shows up pretty quick. Nope, but it's actually here. They've changed the name recently. There we go, Tasks by Planner. And so in a team, if you're with a teaching team or a PLC, you can create a list of things that you need to do in teams specifically. So you don't even need to do very much. So you can see this is part of my ICT teachers team. And Jeremy and I keep a list of things that we need to get done specific to videos. So like we created a planning page for December 11th, and we put down all of the different sources that we needed to make sure that we integrated into that Google Doc. So I can show you exactly what that looks like. So, okay, so this is what it kind of looks like. There's different views that you can get from it. So up at the top, you have your different views. Okay, charts, schedule, and board. And I find the board one the most useful. These separate columns are each called buckets, and you can create new buckets for specific things that you want to get done. So for example, I created buckets for this December 11th day for, the resource bank that we wanted to create, the videos for all the teachers that were being submitted to us, people that were running Q&As, and what we needed to do, Jeremy and I, in order to plan everything together. So after I do that, underneath of the column, I can then create a specific task. Okay, so you can see already how To-Do and Planner kind of work together. Whereas To-Do is really, I see it more as a personal to-do list. Planner is more your group projects type thing. So I can create another thing. I want to add another resource to the sheet. I don't know. I'm just making this up on the spot. And I would hit set due date. And I can make sure that I do it by a specific day. And then I can assign it to someone. Okay, so if I assign it to myself, I do that right there. If I assign it to someone else, they would get an email notification saying to them, hey, you've been assigned a task, so make sure you get on that. Now I can click that, and it brings up a big menu. So this just helps with productivity. So for example, I can label it a specific color if I want to, if I really want to assign it. I can label a priority to it. And I can label a progress to it. So if I've started it, I might want to say, okay, I have a video in progress that I've started. Then Jeremy can come in because this is a shared document. He can see that I have started this video and I am about to put it in, but I'm not done yet. I can type notes in. I can add items to a checklist, and I can attach a file and put a comment in if I want to. And as well, any access to this planning page can type comments in. So if Jeremy sees that I'm in progress and I've written some notes up here, he might want to come in and say, hey, nice job. Maybe did you consider this? You might want to add this in. So I know I'm spending a bit less time on Planner, but it really does require you to play around with it in order to make it work. I will say though that I see this working in different forms as well, other than just the productivity. There's another program that works almost exactly like this called Trello, Trello, and I've used that to plan if I want to, I'm going to give a very nerdy example. If I'm playing a role-playing game and I'm building a world for myself, I might use a spreadsheet like this in order to start tracking different events that happen in my story. And the reason I bring that up is because this can be useful for students if they're creating, for example, an essay and they have different sections that they want to make sure that they address, and then specific arguments in that section they could create different tasks for. So I really do see this being a cross-platform tool, and because students have access to this too, because it's part of their Office 365, it's something that they can have access to. But I think I've talked enough. I'll stop for questions if you guys have any, but I do really think it does take some exploring and kind of playing around with yourself to really get the full experience. So I really invite you to do that. Yes, so let me see if I have any questions in the chat. Nothing yet. Any questions from anyone just hanging around?
Yes, Graeme, I have a
Sure.
question for you about
Sure.
the To-Do app.
Yep.
So you said you can download it on your phone, right?
Yep.
And can you get notifications from the app if there's like something due like on a specific day, or do you
Yeah.
have to like open it? Okay, so you get notifications. Awesome.
Yes, if you assign, so if you just add it to your like to-do list, here, I'll share my screen again. If you just add it to your day like this, I need to do the laundry, for example, and it becomes a task I need to do, you're not going to get a notification for that. The only time you would is when you assign a timeline to it. So like add a due date or remind me, that's when you can do it. And on your phone, I'll pull my phone out right now just to see. But I'm pretty sure that it's the exact same feature. Yeah, so I can assign something on my phone to a task that I have here, and then I would get a notification on my phone. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let me see. But on my phone, if you know what a widget is, basically a widget is, you won't be able to see because I'm my background. A widget is like something you can add to your home screen, and it's part of the app itself. Instead of clicking the button to open the app, you can actually see parts of the app. And there we go. Apply. There we go. Okay, so this is my home screen on my phone, and this is my to-do app. So I have, that's my cousin. I have the app open so that I have all my apps, all my
You're
to-do
sharing,
tasks
Graeme.
visible. Oh, I'm not sharing?
The
Oh, I'm sharing
sharing.
my screen. I apologize. Can you see my video?
Wait,
Okay. So you can see that it's on my phone too, and I don't even have to open the app. I can add it as a widget and have access to it directly from my home screen, which is nice. So I don't know if that's available. I use an Android phone, so I don't know if that's available for Apple, but something to check out for sure. Any other questions? Okay. Well, I'll stick around. If anyone does, I'm done with my little presentation bit, but definitely give it an explore. Let me know if you end up using it and you like it. And feel free to message me if you do have any questions, even past this date.
Thank you so much, Graeme. This was
No
really
problem.
informative. I can't wait to use it. It looks super practical.
Awesome. Let me know how you like it.
thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thanks.
Merci.
Thanks, Graeme.
Okay. You're welcome, Rolly.